In this movie, I'm going to show you how to build a simple contact form using Adobe Muse, and then we're going to publish that to the Business Catalyst platform so that you can see exactly how it works. So first things first, we're going to start off here on the Contact Me page, and then I'm going to bring up the Widgets library. So I'm going to go up to the Window menu and choose Widgets library to make sure that's on screen. And then what we're going to do is open up the forms, and you have two different types of forms in here, a detailed contact form and a simple contact form. Chances are the simple contact form is all you're going to need. So just drag that out into the window, and you can always add form fields to this later on. You'll notice when you first drag it out into the window that you have several different options to choose from here. You can name the form. You can also set the email to, that's the address that the email will be sent to. You can also say after sending, go someplace. And we actually have a page in our system that we want to send people to. So let's go ahead and change that now. Let's change that to Contact Me, thank you. And that way it's going to take me to that page when it's finished. And then you can include any of these form fields you want. In this case, I'm going to include a BC CAPTCHA form at the bottom. That's just going to help eliminate spam. Now, it should be noted that that is not going to work on any other platform other than Business Catalyst. And Muse will warn you about that if you try to publish via FTP to anything else. And so once I have all of my details set up, I'm now ready to start styling up my form. And the styling of the form works much the same way as just about anything else you would expect in Muse. First thing, though, I'm going to add a little bit of space down here at the bottom of the page. And I can do that just by creating an empty container down here. It just gives me a little bit of extra space down here at the bottom to play with. And if we need to put something down here, eventually we can, but this just, like I said, gives me a little extra space. So now I'm going to take this form and move it down a bit. There we go. And something kind of like that. Now, to alter the text fields in the form, it's very, very simple. Just click until you get a hold of the one you want, and then working with the States panel, it's the same process we've been using to do all of the widgets that we've worked with so far. And so I won't go through each individual one of these, but I'll just show you how to do one. So for instance here, if I wanted this form field to be a different color, then I could come up here and say, okay, the empty one, the form field, what do I want it to look like? Let's select this. There we go. So we've got that in the empty state. And let's change that to, let's say, black. There you go. You can see exactly what it looks like. If I change that back to white, you can see there what it looks like. In this case, though, I'm going to make it, since it's an empty field, I'm going to change the hex value to EC, EC, EC. And that's just something that I know off the top of my head. I've remembered it. It's a really, really light gray. And that's just going to give me a little bit of difference between the form field and the background. So I'll press Enter or Return to have that change. Now, when I have the focus on, you can see there that it turns white, and that's exactly what I want. Rollover. I don't want this to change on rollover necessarily, so with the rollover selected, what I'll do is just go in here and change this again. EC, EC, EC. Hit Enter. There we go. I'm also going to reduce the stroke on all of these. Let's do empty, no stroke, non-empty, no stroke, rollover, no, focus, no, and error, no. Okay. So everything looks pretty good the way it's all set up right now. You can customize the text or anything you want. But now, let's just assume that we have this looking the way we want. Let's preview it now and take a look at exactly how it works. So here it is, all set up the way we want it to go. If I click in here, I can start typing out. One of the things I would change, first of all, is when I have focus, I probably do need a border around it so people can tell that I'm actually still in the form field. And then email, hello@me.com. And then hi, and then image verification, A, B, C, D, E, F. And then, of course, you would click Submit. Now, clicking Submit in preview mode won't work because we're not tied to anything right now, no platform. We haven't published it, so don't click Submit just yet. And then I'm just going to go ahead and close the preview. And let's go back. Click until you have one of these selected. And then, of course, when we get into the focus section, let's add back in that 1 pixel border around the outside. There we go. Okay. Now, when you're ready to publish your form, you need to make sure that all the form options are correct. And that means that your email up here is absolutely correct. I've got mine blurred out on screen right now just because I don't want a bunch of people emailing this email address. It's not exactly mine. So I don't need anybody sending excessive email to that. And so what we're going to do now is just go to the File menu, and we're going to go down to Publish. I know we haven't covered publishing yet, so I'm not going to go into this in detail. We'll talk about this in detail later in the publishing chapter. So I'm just going to name this something like Justin's Test Website and hit OK. And that's going to publish this to Business Catalyst. It might take a little bit of time to do this depending on how big your website is, especially since this website has a lot of different thumbnails and a lot of those big images that we used in the slideshow. Those are all included in here. And Adobe Muse is actually going to publish every single bit of that. You can see it going through all of the thumbnails right now. It's publishing all those big images as well. And when this finally launches in the browser, you're going to see that it is the fully functioning version of our website. And so here we go. Once it launches up, you can see this is the full version of this. If I click on My Work, there's the slideshow we built earlier. If I click on Contact Me, here we go. And I can go in there and I can start making some changes. So I can say, Justin Seeley, email, hello@mycompany.com. And then, hi there. How's it going? And then we've got the caption down here at the bottom, BGKYPG. Again, that's just helping to avoid spam. And then when I click submit, it should take me to the thank you page. Let's see if it works. There it is. There's the thank you page. Thanks. Your message was submitted successfully, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. In the meantime, please feel free to check out my portfolio or read up about me. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon. And then, of course, this link right here, we haven't set this to go anywhere, but that would go back to my portfolio page, I would imagine. So let's close that up. And once we get back into Muse, it gives me a report on this, tells me that I can take the next steps here. I'm just going to hit OK. We'll explore some of those when we talk about publishing a little later. But hopefully now you see just how easy it is to create a form inside of Muse. And if you publish it to the Business Catalyst platform, you get the full experience of being able to submit. You get the image captcha and all that stuff as well. So that's a feather in the cap of Business Catalyst in a way. So my recommendation is to play around with this. And if you are going to use your own host, upload it to your own host and see if it works. Muse will give you an error message if it finds anything wrong with your host during the FTP upload process. But otherwise, if you publish to Business Catalyst, it's just about as seamless of an experience as you can get. And these are great ways to allow for people to contact you directly from your website. So check it out. It's the form fields inside of Adobe Muse.